Okay, so let's go ahead and get back into our coverage over Heroes Reborn. Now, we're kind of picking up post-Industrial Revolution crossover, and we do pick up with Fantastic Four issue number 6. Now, when it comes to this issue alone, we're really picking up with Fantastic Four going into the negative zone, but also kind of beginning the process of wrapping up this reality, actually. And you see what I mean as we go through today's video. But as we get into the opening pages of the storyline, we're really picking up where the Industrial Revolution had left off at. The whole idea that Ben Grimm got some radiation burn trying to help out Fantastic Four and the Avengers deal with a Gamma Core back on Avengers Island. So currently right now, he's in the hospital until his hands are properly healed up. Now you do have the Fantastic Four paying a visit over to their dear friend Ben Grimm to make sure he is okay. But while you do have the Fantastic Four leaving for the day, you do have Ben Grimm get another visitor. And that would be Alicia Masters. Now, here's the thing, because at this point in time in Marvel Comics, these two characters have not officially dated one another yet. They have been trying to go on a date, but every single time they try to have a date, something would pop off. Like, for example, the last time for Ben Grimm, he had to go over to Latveria to help save the rest of the Fantastic Four when it came to fighting against Doctor Doom and the Super Skrull. But now it's these two characters finally getting a chance to sit down with one another to have some private time with each other. But this kind of leads into us seeing our heroes going into the negative zone. Because for Reed Richards, once you have Reed, Susan, and also Johnny Storm head back over to the Baxter building, he has been trying his best to fully understand where their powers came from. And so when it came to Reed Richards, he kind of realized there had to be some kind of connection from their powers and also the powers of the Silver Surfer. You know, of course, our heroes being hit with cosmic rays. Now, with all that being said, for Reed Richards, he had discovered the negative zone. And here's the reason why. Because he realized when it came to the Silver Surfer, when it came into their galaxy, he used a wormhole. But inside that wormhole is the negative zone. So technically, it was Silver Surfer being able to travel across the universe by using that wormhole that cuts through the negative zone over to our galaxy. And so it's him saying, I want to go into the negative zone and go over to the other side of the universe to kind of figure out where the Silver Surfer came from. Now, once you do have our heroes being able to get ready for the negative zone, because for Reed Richards, he had made special suits for every single member of Fantastic Four, but it's only going to be these three characters going into the negative zone. Now, once you do have our heroes being able to travel into the negative zone, it's kind of cool to see our heroes be able to experience this brand new dimension for the first time for themselves. But you didn't have Johnny Storm realize that there's somebody else in the negative zone at the moment, that technically they're not alone. And he's actually correct, because we're now getting our first appearance of Blastar in the negative zone in the Heroes Reborn reality. And so with Blastar being there, you didn't have our heroes get attacked by, well, Blastar. Now, here's the thing, because their spaceship, their spacecraft, and also their suits were technically made to help our heroes survive in the negative zone. But the spacecraft is the main thing they need to survive in the negative zone. Without it, they're basically stuck and they're going to die at a very fast rate. Now, at the very last second, you do have somebody stop Blastar from being able to kill off our heroes. But you didn't have our heroes be saved by this mysterious character. But our heroes are then slowly transported to different points in time, but not in their reality, in the main Marvel Universe reality. You see, let me explain real quick. When it comes to the Heroes Reborn reality, as we all know, this is technically a pocket dimension in the main Marvel universe. And so when it came to the Avengers and Fantastic Four, in the late 1990s, their books were no longer selling. And so when it came to Marvel Comics, they had to find a way to fix their problem. And they said, you know what? Let's go ahead and pay a lot of money to old creators to come back over to Marvel Comics to work on some characters that were no longer selling. The Avengers, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, and Captain America. Now, all those 4 different books were canceled and pushed into the Heroes Reborn reality to give those characters a fresh start in that reality, in that pocket dimension. And so right now for our heroes, they're going to discover that they're going to travel into the main Marvel universe, but there could be some connection between their reality and the main Marvel Universe reality. And so that allows our heroes to go to different points in time. Like, for example, for R. Reed Richards from the Heroes Reborn reality, he arrives at a point in time in the main Marvel Universe where you have the X-Men about to fight against the Fantastic Four, because there was a storyline called Fantastic Four versus X-Men, where you had the X-Men go over to Reed to hopefully save the life of Kitty Pryde. Now, there's more to that story right there, but for R. Reed from the Heroes Reborn reality, he's kind of like, wait a second, what in the world is going on here? Because technically he's a ghost. Like, they can't see him at all. But he also realized that this takes place in the past, which for him makes no sense at all, because in the past, in his mind, they weren't heroes yet. But then he realized that this has to be a different reality where the age of heroes came earlier. But on top of that, there's more heroes besides the Avengers and Fantastic Four. You also have the X-Men as well. Now, before Reed is able to continue on to kind of figure out what exactly going on here, he's then pulled away by our mysterious character. And that kind of trend continues on for the rest of the team. Like for Johnny, for example. For Johnny, he's right now at the past point where you had Ben Grimm saying goodbye to Alicia Masters at her wedding, because at that point in time, it was Alicia Masters who was dating Johnny and was going to marry Johnny. Now, again, there's more to that story, but at first for Johnny, he believed like, okay, cool, it's Ben Grimm and Alicia Masters getting married. This is great. And just like Reed, he's a ghost. No one can hear him. No one can see him technically. But then you have Johnny realize that it's not Ben Grimm marrying Alicia Masters. It's him, but a older version of him. And so for Johnny, he's kind of wondering what in the world is going on here. But just like Reed, he's pulled away at the very last second. But now we have to jump back over to Susan. And for Susan, man, this was really sad because she's at a different point in time where Franklin Richards is around, but he was hanging out with Agatha Harkness and also his mother at the park. And so for Susan, she's seeing the main Marvel Universe counterpart of herself having a child, having Franklin Richards. And we do learn that in this reality, she was told by the doctors that she would never have the chance to have children. And so that is why in this reality, she was so buried into her work. Because again, she hated the idea that she'll never have a family of her own in her mind. And so you didn't at the very last second have our mysterious character reappear, grab her, and take her back to the rest of the team, Reed and Johnny. And we do learn that our mysterious character is the Watcher. It's the Watcher technically telling our heroes like, I just showed you a world that you have to save. And here's the thing, because if you don't save that world, that could impact the entire universe. Kind of hinting at the idea that there's more going on behind the scenes with this reality and also the main Marvel Universe reality for our heroes, to kind of help our heroes realize they might have to go back to their home reality soon to somehow save it. But for our heroes, they don't realize that is their home reality. But either way, you do have Reed kind of hold on to Sue, because for Susan, she just saw the fact that there is a reality where she was allowed to be a mother. And this kind of leads into the ending of the storyline because we jump back over to the Silver Surfer and he finally was able to get back over to Galactus. Now, when he does, for Galactus, he wants an update and not really more like, hey, Silver Surfer, are you okay? You were gone for a good period of time, which he was because Dr. Doom had held him as a hostage. But in reality, it's Galactus saying like, no, I want to know, is that planet Earth ready for me to consume? Now, Surfer says yes, but at the same time, he doesn't want to do anything just yet. He kind of wants to investigate that world a tad bit more. But Galactus says, that's not going to happen. So my Herald, get ready because it's time for me to feed on that planet. And so as we get over to the last page, what we see right now is the Watcher basically saying like, my job usually is to just watch. Like my job is to never intervene when it comes to different events happening across the universe. But unfortunately, this may be the time where I have no choice but to go ahead and intervene for what's to come down the road. And this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.